that are close to you, I'm really, really happy to say. For Trends today, we've got Sasha Chaudhri. How are you, Sasha?
Hello, Eddie. I'm really good. Thank you for having me on the show. It's a pleasure to discuss these issues. I was just imagining you with your son there, 10,000 songs. I mean, that is just quite horrendous. Very reserved of you. Well done.
No, I don't know.
You just imagined it.
Yeah, in this television series, is that this is what you do, but in your head when you close your eyes, this is what you really want to do. Sasha,
Absolutely.
You're on the show because you're an inspiration. I have this thing that I'm dreaming of doing next September, and I need to put everything in place to do it. And you passed all of your GCSEs at what age?
Oh, I think I was 57 then, Eddie.
Those are the stories that just... They just ignite me, they excite me, they invigorate me, they inspire me, and hopefully they will. I know we've done a bit of this before, and I promise I'll let you get through to your stories, right? But it's important as somebody who's gonna phone Bert Beck because the dream of his is to have a degree and to not feel as though I've got this complex of imitation. Every time I do this, I've done it for 21 years, but I still feel that I'm not worthy because I don't have a degree. Yeah, I know it's silly, but clearly it's how you feel is how you feel. Why? Why did you do it?
I just felt that I was just nothing, that was inspiring me back in the corporate world. And I really didn't realise that you had to have your GCSEs to get on in life. So, I had to go back and do it. But it was really about what's going to be the next 50 years, because we're living now, aren't we, to the 100 mark, the century mark.
Oh, no. Sasha, I'm as evil as I can. I want to live forever.
But you're only 29, so you've still got a few years to go.
Don't provoke me. This is going to be nice. There's nothing that you're saying that's going to make me be anything but lovely to you. But doing GCSEs is one thing. I mean, and as somebody who learned how to swim as an adult, I know how vulnerable that made me feel. Were you vulnerable?
Yeah, very much so. And I think you have to let yourself be vulnerable, because it's very difficult when you're older to be told by somebody who's half your age that you're rubbish at something. And it does give you humility, because, when you're at the top of your game, or you're just learning to swim as an adult, other people make it look so easy, and you're standing there and you're sort of thinking, oh gosh, what's wrong with me? And of course, the more experienced teachers are, the more they make it look easy. You'll know with lockdown with your kids as well, and obviously your missus is a teacher as well, and they just made it look really easy. And I have to say, I had to look. It's probably the hardest thing I've ever done. I had to look at myself and I had to think,
I didn't look at myself.
I do it.
No, I didn't do that. I just thought these children are terrible. They're awful human beings. It wasn't about me. It was about how bad my children were and how grateful I am to send them to school.
Did you learn to swim then? Did you?
Yeah. But funny enough, we didn't learn in the lesson. We learned by. There's another thing that I've been watching, and it's quite interesting. And it says the only way you're going to improve anything, the only way you're going to do something, is to do it consistently and often. And that is the only way you do it. Practice, practice, practice. That's the motto in our house. And they have to do it. So we went every lunchtime, and one day it just went from 1.5 lengths to 25. So one day it clicks. So just finally, because I know that's not what you came on for, but you just have to bear with me, because it is my connection to you.
Yeah.
When did you think you'd cracked it? When did you kind of allow yourself to enjoy the journey?
I don't think I did. I was really, that kind of have I done it? Have I done everything that I need to do? And it was only, a couple of weeks ago when I actually downloaded my certificate that I looked at it, and the ink's not dry on it either. And I thought, oh my God, I'm now a qualified teacher and they're going to let me loose on a school. Yeah, it was that moment. I don't think you ever do.
Wonderful.
I think the generation, you know, I mean, you were talking about snowflakes and things like that. No,
come on then. No, do that. No. You listen to the show, so I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And as I said, the management have explained to me very, very clearly, Eddie, not everybody gets it. that was their appraisal of me, right? Not everybody, but I know you do. So you do this for me, and then I'll let you get to your story, which I'm imagining is educate. One of them is education.
Oh, how did you guess?
Do teachers, not political, but a teacher's dictionary definition of the word woke?
Well, it's a new one, isn't it? So what is woke? I imagine it's different things to different people, because people
No,
are
you're doing
woke.
politics.
They don't know they're woke.
He woke to find there was someone standing over him. Would have been not political. You're attempting to politicize the word. You're a teacher. I can pressure you now because I'm the naughty child at the back of the classroom. What was in its purest? I could do it. Of course I could. I could Google it. That's how I answer most of my children's maths questions. But I don't want to. What is, without politics, the definition of the word woke?
The old definition is like to be enlightened, isn't it? To wake up because you're enlightened about something, like you might have an epiphany. That's what I would look at that definition.
Absolutely.
But things change. So we might say,
change.
Absolutely, yeah. So they've really morphed this word into meaning something quite derogatory.
And in its pejorative sense, what does it mean?
Yeah, enlightenment, isn't it? You have
No,
like
it isn't.
an
It
epiphany.
isn't. No, it isn't. No, you're not going to get to there. You see, in its politicized sense, what does it mean?
Oh, it's much more derogatory now.
Yeah.
The word woke.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
like
it doesn't
calling
mean that you
somebody-
mean. I know you're scared to say it. It doesn't mean that you mean it. I'm just interested in how people can use it as a kind of derogatory, pejorative, whatever word you want to use. Just come on, just play with me for a second. Come on,
Okay.
because we're gonna have to do it in the classroom. We'll have to play with words. Come on then.
What does the word woke mean?
Yeah.
Well, the word woke is all about, well, in its purest sense, if you wake up or you woke up, it's the past tense. It does mean that you've had an enlightenment.
Okay,
That
you're blocking me, and I'm not going to ask you again. So, right, let's enjoy. So, in terms of close to you, what's the first one you've gone for, Sasha? And thank you very much for doing this for us.
So it's about education, and now we were just talking about teaching, and there looks like there's going to be such a shortage in the classroom, Eddie, because we've had like a 40% shortage of fall in new recruits, and that's just Department of Education. However, the charity that I'm affiliated to, we've actually had a rise. And I was just going to ask you, do you know how many, what the average age of a now teacher, one of our mature grey matter people are this year?
55.
A little bit younger,
Really?
almost
Right.
there.
Yeah, but the idea
49.
is 14. Well, that's still magnificent. But I
It's
feel like
brilliant,
they
yeah.
must have had another career and then decided to do this. And my wonder, you talk about the shortage. Isn't the retention also a problem?
Well, there's two, because the retention, I mean, it's something like 1 in 5 teachers are thinking of quitting. And having been in the classroom, I can see, the workload is just quite horrendous. And the pay is, you don't do it for the pay. So there is, there is going to be such a shortage.
I've got to say to you that my respect, I mean, we joke about the pandemic, but since I became a parent, I had a whole different, but up until I became a parent, I was one of these presenters, broadcasters who was talking about 12 weeks holiday, starting at 9, finishing at 3. Who feels it knows it. having had, I don't do parents' evening because obviously, well, I used to work in the evening, so I'd have to get in there 8, and the teacher would see me and talk to me about it. You'd see the way they set up the classroom, the way they bought areas of inspiration, meetings, what we used to call Baker's Days, now called Inset Days, going on. I have a whole new respect and understanding. I think lots of people don't, because 12 weeks holiday a year sounds fantastic, but it isn't really like that, is it?
No, it's not. You even in the holidays, you're doing marking, and I'm constantly now thinking, right, okay, how am I going to teach Animal Farm? How am I going to teach, year 7? How do I know that they're really getting it? So you're constantly, thinking about that, even in the holidays, and right now I'm planning lessons in the classroom. But there's still that excitement with a lot of teachers. They're quitting because they're just having so much work. You say the holidays, but they're marking books in the holidays.
Is it work? I don't think it's work. I mean, you know better than me. I think when I look at education and I look at health and I look at retention and in terms of the number of clinicians who are going to places like Australia where they feel like they're getting paid and respect, I feel like there's a fundamental kind of disconnect going on here, particularly in those two areas.
Yeah, I mean, there's other models like in Finland, for example. The teachers are much more respected, so it's actually part and parcel. You work very much with the adults, so you've got a completely different system. So they're much more valued. I think it's that whole thing about being valued and not just say, right, okay, you've got these 8 hours and off you go, and we're going to dictate what you do. They've got much more autonomy there. So
I think you're right.
Job satisfaction's better.
I've had a look at healthcare, the justice system, what they do with people who are incarcerated. I mean, there's bits to learn, but I don't think, if I'm honest with you, which takes us back to this word woke, I don't think it's a vote winner, because I think, explaining to somebody that the way that you treat them impacts on perhaps the way they behave and all of that, I don't think we've quite got that. It feels like you're rewarding bad behavior, or it feels like you're paying people when there is no money, and somehow that argument is one that's being dictated by the press, I believe. Well, look, I'm glad that more work is being done at the other end, because it isn't just about people coming out of college and going into teaching. It is, nice to have people who have lived as well.